ba, 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 da. Staying alive, staying alive. You guys suck at staying alive. The only thing worse than my dance moves is how much you guys are throwing your life away. Players in Valorant don't seem to understand that in some situations, the act of simply not dying is the perfect play to make. Stop swinging, stop moving, stop breathing, just sit there please and win the round. Okay, maybe it's not that simple, but I'm telling you, your main objective sometimes should be to stay alive. And some examples should help prove my point. Let me show you some. But please keep in mind that this isn't the only reason why you can't rank up. As a matter of fact, it could be a whole textbook of problems, which is why you need a whole textbook of solutions. On our website at SkillCapped, we have thousands of hours of educational and Radiant level produced content. From online courses, private VOD reviews, an Ask a Pro Discord server with full-time access to all of our coaches, and more, I find it hard that we can't help you rank up. It's our job. Now stop falling behind the competition and check us out at SkillCapped. We'll be waiting. So what exactly do I mean by just staying alive? Am I just saying sit around and just bait your teammates? No, of course not. You know how when you're executing onto a site and there's someone trying to hold it down and you're commenting things like, Asher's in hell, one is stuck Jenny, he's behind dice, and this guy anchoring gets one and no one can really trade him out? This player is doing a good job at staying alive. What this player is doing is buying time for his teammates to rotate over and funnel onto site and retake quickly. By simply staying alive, he's creating a ton of pressure and everyone is focused on trying to trade this player out. This allows his teammates to come out site and help him as he's dragging all of this attention to himself. This is why on Seaside Haven, you'll see controller players pop this smoke in the middle of site. What it does is that it allows the C anchor to stay alive longer and buy time for rotates to funnel in. This smoke is scary and hard to push through. So by simply playing your life instead of ego swinging back out and trying to get more, you'll win more rounds. Now let me show you what this looks like. In this round, Nats is sitting behind map on split and the enemy team is executing on him with a double duelist comp. He knows Ray's double satcheled in, and he's going to contact her first near elbow. He positions himself behind default, so he can take the 1v1 on the vulnerable Rays. Now something to keep in mind is that being able to reposition when holding down a site is big. Well, Nats finds this timing to reposition from default to behind map. He holds the left side of site, knowing this is how the attacking team is going to path in. He isolates the Jet and gets the kill. I mean, just look at where Jet is looking. Her teammates are calling, he's elbow! So that's where she's looking. Had Nats not moved behind map, this fight would have been much harder for him to win. Now notice he doesn't really commit to a fight until his teammate rotates all the way through screens and takes next contact. Everyone at first is focused on Nat's backside, so Skye then swings from spawn to drag their attention back to her. Then Nats re-swings from map and kills the Cypher. This trading of attention or ping pong that him and his Skye are playing with the enemy team's contact was only made possible by Nats staying alive for so long. Had he just swung wide and tried to get a 4-piece or played in a bad position, he would have gotten traded and would have lost this round. The right play was to stay alive. Now this concept doesn't just apply to anchoring down spike sites. Let's imagine that you're lurking up mid on Icebox and you hear some people running through mid. You decide to peek and shoot someone in the back. You now have a couple different options. You could A, keep moving forward into mid, B, walk away and go to your team, or C, go up into kitchen. All of these options could be correct. You just have to pick one and be confident in that decision. If you decide to keep moving forward into mid, you need to understand that you can be peeked from boiler, pallet, or orange. You need to be confident in taking these fights. Otherwise, you're just allowing yourself to get traded. Now, option B and C are my personal favorites. With option B, the enemy team is now worried that someone is walking up mid, ready to shoot them in the back. Their teammate just died to someone there and probably is telling their teammates, yo, there's someone in mid, we gotta clear this guy out. All crosshairs are now pointed at mid. But what they don't know is that you regrouped with your team, and now your team's execute is going to be much easier with the pressure that you just took off of them. Option C is really nice as well, as it's a nice balance between both options A and B. By moving your way into kitchen, not only do you freak the enemy team out, but they just saw you in mid. What they don't know is that you just repositioned into kitchen. So while they're all complaining, Killjoy's in mid, Killjoy's in mid, they have no idea where you went, and you're going to be hard to clear out. And by going into kitchen, you're now setting yourself up for another lurk later in the round, and are relatively safer than option A and just walking straight up. In this clip, you're going to see firsthand how just by staying alive on a lurk can win your team around. In this game with DSG versus the guard, DSG starts off in a 4-1 default on bind. To start the round, 4 people are defaulting towards long and hookah, and Steel is outside of shower holding the flank for his team. Steel calls for his team to come back to A after the sage wall breaks and go up A short and just hit A. The enemy sage thinks something's up and goes outside to clear out shower, but dies to Steel's very late lurk. His brimstone then calls out that he's being flanked. Steel then repositions from a shower to try and get the kill while the enemy is focused on Brimstone. He can't get the kill, but notice how after this engagement, he's only 1 HP. Steel doesn't keep swinging. He just sits back in spawn and plays time. The amount of pressure he's made with the kill on Sage and the fight he took with Viper created so much pressure that the guard's retake is slowed down immensely. Just look at the minimap. You have Viper sitting here waiting for him to reswing, and Raze over by Shower is constantly looking over her shoulder to see where this guy went. But instead of taking any more fights, Steel sits in spawn, plays some lineups, and just chills out. Just like in our Icebox example, he decided to reposition from Shower to short and then to spawn. This would be the equivalent to moving from mid to kitchen to back into your spawn. It was this lurk and good play from Steel that won his team the round. Now the thing about staying alive is that sometimes it's not always you as the lurker being the one that needs to stay alive, but your teammates instead. For example, if you're walking through mid on Haven and the enemy team is about to retake A, you need your teammates who are on site to back off and not die. If they do die, the enemies are going to wonder where you are and start suspecting that you're flanking. So if you're on site and your Cypher who's lurking is screaming, "Don't die," or "I have a flank," or "Just play your life," you need to look at the minimap, realize that they are now your win condition, and you need to play for it. Normally when you're down numbers, you would need to generate a win condition by making a play. But in this example, your lurker is the win condition. Now in order to hit it, you need to stay alive and buy this person some time. Here's what it looks like in a real game. At the start of this round, Mad Lions are in an A main default. Lions IGL Trick tells his team to eventually group up A main, but he's headed over to Catwalk. Because his team got knifed, he decided to head up mid and blast his recon dart into tree to try and alleviate some of the pressure for his team as they went to execute. As the recon comes out, the enemy KO gets distracted, the execute bursts out, and Mad Lions takes the site. This is great mid-rounding from Trick, but he's not done. He catches a late lurk up mid and tells his team, "Yo, buy me some time, I'm flanking." Now as he's flanking, notice how passive everybody on his team is playing. They're barely holding heaven and they're playing for their lives. The retake starts, but eventually Trick is bought just enough time to use his shock darts to secure the round. This is a perfect example of staying alive so that you can win the round for your team. Now in this last clip, Nats is lurking up mid on Ascent while his teammates are funneling onto B. His teammates on site are technically in a 2 versus 3 since Nats can't help them. And remember that if you're down in numbers, you kind of have to make a move. Normally in this situation, that would include hopping back up onto lane or peeking from stairs, but take a look at Nats' teammates. They're sitting boathouse and behind default boxes, barely even peeking out. Had they pushed up getting ready to fight with Nats, they run the risk of dying, letting the enemy team onto site, and putting Nats in a pretty tough spot. But by playing backside, they're buying Nats just enough time to smoke off Killjoy's alarm bot, trigger Discipline the Sova, and get 2 important kills securing the round. Remember, if his teammates didn't stay alive, they had a good chance at losing this round. Alright, so by now you should get it. Just by valuing your life a bit more, you can win yourself some pretty free rounds. Whether you're lurking, anchoring, flanking, clutching, your presence alone is enough to have a huge impact. A lot of players, especially in lower elos, panic when they can't kill someone quickly or get a trade. So then they end up overthinking, which leads to stupid mistakes, allowing you to capitalize off them. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel down below. It really does help us out. Now, if this advice was new to you, I promise we have so much more to teach you over on our website. With a subscription to our site, you gain access to hundreds of hours of Radiant-produced educational content. This includes access to our Ask a Pro channel in our Discord, access to our library of coaching sessions where we've helped players that have similar problems as you, and so much more. No other service can offer you this much value, I promise. Now head on over to SkillCapped.com and get started on your way to that rank that you deserve. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for listening, guys. I'm Teets, and we here at SkillCapped want to thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.